It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the science quiz show here in the Prince George's Schools. Play along with us today and test your own science IQs. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Glenarden Woods Elementary School, would you say hello to Michael Wong, Sarai D'Souza, and Diego Bastillo Torres. And from Montpelier Elementary, here they are, Matthew Demick, Mary Garnes, and Serena Farron. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty with the easier questions on the left. They're worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones, 15, 20, and ultimately 25. That's the toughest question of them all. We start our teams out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again and perhaps advance to this year's semifinals. Let's go over and make sure that everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. And Sarai, would you try your buzzer? Looks and sounds good. Good luck to you, to Diego, and to Michael. And Mary, would you try the green teams? Also, looking fine, sounding good. Good luck to Mary and Serena and Matthew. And again, congratulations on being here to play our game. Let's have a good one. We go alphabetically G before M. So Sarai and Glenarden Woods, let's play the bowl.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, when light hits water, the water gets warmer. But when light hits snow or ice, Glenarden Woods.
Colder?
No, not quite. Montpelier, when light hits water, the water warms up. But when light hits snow or ice, it does this, which actually slows down the melting process. What you got?
Evaporates?
No, it reflects. It reflects off the white, which is why it doesn't melt the snow as quickly as you might think that it does. It's called the albedo effect. Try again, red.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Science Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, people with Crohn's disease increasingly are being treated with fecal transplants, which means that just like blood, you can get paid for donating your what, Montpelier?
Poop.
Your poop, that's exactly right. Who'd have thunk that? But indeed, it does make a difference. You're introducing a new bacterial culture into someone else's colon, and it makes a difference. Go green.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, Maryland's state bird, the Baltimore Oriole, is described in most ornithological textbooks as being largely arboreal. Meaning what? Glenarden Woods.
It eats more plants than other birds.
Eats more plants than other birds. No, that's a good try. The Baltimore Oriole is described as largely arboreal. Meaning what? What you got?
It's a small bird.
No, arboreal means trees. It is found mostly in the trees. So if you're a birder out looking for it, don't look in the fields. It's largely a tree-dwelling bird. No points there. Okay, go green.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, most fish do not have 5 arms. But this fish, which is not really a fish but an echinoderm, does have 5 arms, and you probably know it best as sponge. Glenarden Woods.
Starfish. Starfish.
Starfish, that's right. I was about to say SpongeBob's famous companion. Indeed. Thank you, Michael, for your assist. Go, Sarai.
Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline Science for 10 points is a multiple choice question. Teams in the book and movie War of the Worlds, written by H.G. Wells, Martians invade New Jersey. H.G. Wells described these Martians as having heads that looked like cephalopods because they resembled praying mantises, electric eels, or octopus. Glenarden Woods.
Octopus.
An octopus, absolutely right. That's the only one in that group that was a cephalopod. Good. 70, 60, advantage Glenarden. Go red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Get physical for 15 points. Teams during a total lunar eclipse. The Earth is between the sun and the moon. The moon oftentimes is all tinted red, looking like a blood moon, because it is in what phase? What phase, Glenarden Woods?
Full moon?
Yes, a full moon. It has to be a full moon for a total lunar eclipse. You get the whole palette that you can see illuminated. Good, go.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, tree resin. Oftentimes it's transparent. Light can go right through it. Sometimes it's kind of clouded over and only some light gets through, meaning it's not transparent, it's this. Montpelier.
Translucent.
Translucent. I like your enthusiasm, Mary. Just wait till I acknowledge you. Good answer. Go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, this creature suffers from something called feline dwarfism, and it is known because of its demeanor all across the internet as the grumpy what? Glenarden Woods?
Cat.
The grumpy cat, yeah, with that permanent downturn on its mouth. Sad case. Go red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, Denver quarterback Peyton Manning has denied reports that he took illegal medication when recovering recently. He did admit, though, to being inside a hyperbaric chamber to get more of this to help him recover. Montpelier.
Oxygen.
Yes, indeed. Nicely done. Good assist there from Serena. Go.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline for 5 points. Teams, at the end of 2015, scientists all over the world cheered because the 7th row of this, Montpelier.
Periodic table.
Indeed, the periodic table. 4 new elements added on to the ones we already have. We're up to 117. All right. That buzzer says this first round, it's been a good one, is over. Let's check the score. It is a dead heat. Glenarden Woods 90, Montpelier 90. We'll be back with a second round in just a moment. Don't you go anywhere.
I started mentoring my mentee Dantre 4 years ago. I always thought about doing it. It always seemed like a good idea.
We were both nervous when we first met, but everything kind of fell into place.
Mentoring is important to anyone that's pretty fortunate in life to have a little bit of time to pass on that knowledge.
Etienne's a very close friend. I look at him as a brother and a father figure. He taught me just focus on the big picture because I would like to give back just like Etienne gave back to me. Be someone who matters to someone who matters.
If you're like most families, you probably have video game fans in your home. But not every game is right for every kid, which is where the ESRB ratings come in. They help parents make informed decisions for their kids. And there's an easy-to-use mobile app that gives you detailed info on specific game ratings. Video game consoles have parental controls that you can set to block certain games by age rating, so they get all the fun, and you get peace of mind.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today in this, our 30th year in Prince George's schools. And we've got 6 fine young people playing our game today. Let's find out a little bit more about them and their schools. Let's go to Glenarden Woods Elementary. And Sarai, tell us about Glenarden Woods, one of the winningest schools in Science Bowl history. 2 of the last 4 years you have been here as county champs, and you do everything right over there. Who's your principal?
Miss Boulding.
Yeah, she's a great principal too, and I know how much she supports you and this game. And you've got a number of sponsors, don't you? Who are they?
Miss Emerson, Mr. Richardson, and Miss Stewart.
And they're all out there kind of biting their nails, just worried about you, but they really don't have to worry because you guys have everything in hand. You're doing a great job here today. Alternates, you had two, didn't you, Sarai?
Yes.
Who are they?
Noah and Mark.
And we'll bring them out with your sponsors in just a few moments here. I like to ask students the very best thing about their schools. What do you like best about Glenarden Woods if you had to pick one thing?
I think that it's just that everybody's friendly with each other and we get along generally really well.
Boy, that makes the difference. It's like a family. So you come there every day and you know that everybody is on your side. Thanks for sharing that. This young lady is a triple threat. She's a scholar, an athlete, and a musician. Tell us about that. What instrument do you play?
I play two instruments. I play guitar and cello.
Wow. And what are your sports?
Soccer and basketball.
And you want to grow up to be a what?
An astronaut.
An astronaut. As I told her before, she's perfect astronaut material. She's kind of a Renaissance person. She does it all. Why'd you want to be on the show?
My friend Zachy, he was on Science Bowl, and he always talked about it like it was really cool, so I wanted to try it out for myself.
Well, I'm glad you're here today, and I remember Zachy too, so thanks for mentioning the name here. Diego, nice to have you here today. You want to be a mechanical engineer someday?
Yes.
Yeah, and why'd you want to be here?
Well, I like to challenge myself, push myself farther and farther,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here, and you obviously know a lot about science. How do you know so much?
Well, usually I just read a lot of books.
Yeah.
I have like a full slot in my shelf full of science books, so.
Well, that's wonderful. And of course, the internet is full of science information. You know, it's all around us today, and you're doing a nice job here. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, I just play with Legos, do anything I want, play video games, and play my saxophone.
Yeah. Oh, and so you do a lot too. You know, a couple threats there going as well. And Mike, tell us about yourself. Why'd you want to be here?
Actually, it was just because I thought being on a show about science was kind of cool, so.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. And you're doing a nice job here. How do you know so much about science?
I just like reading about it, and I used to watch a lot of videos about science.
That's wonderful. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a surgeon because I actually want to learn more about the human body. And
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have to take a lot of courses before you get to be a surgeon. A lot of schooling ahead of you, but something tells me you're up to it. Nice to have you here. Montpelier, nice to have you guys here. And if a couple of these faces look familiar, it's because they were here last year. Mary and Matthew and Serena as an alternate. And Montpelier is up there in Laurel. And tell us, Mary, who's your principal?
Our principal is Principal Furlow.
Principal Furlow, and she's been there for a number of years. I know she was actually on our TV station on Count on Us because she's a good math teacher in addition to being a great principal. And who's your sponsor?
Our sponsor is Mr. Pateri.
And he's taken over in the past couple of years, done a wonderful job, and you're wearing matching Science Bowl shirts over there, which I like very much. You're looking good. Tell me, any alternates on your team, Mary?
Yes, we have one named Jeffrey.
And Jeffrey will come out in just a few moments with Mr. Pateri. Tell me about Montpelier. Best thing.
I think the best thing about Montpelier is that we have a lot of options for clubs. Like we have a maker club and a robotics club and a lot of science stuff and a lot of options that we can do, like instrumental, and yeah.
That's great. You know, you need a lot of those extra things, those extracurriculars, because you never know what's going to hit you. Like you get an epiphany, boy, maybe I could do that someday. So yeah, that's great to hear that takes place out there at Montpelier. Mary, what do you want to do someday?
I want to be a YouTuber when I grow up.
Why?
Because it's always seemed really cool to work with technology and computers, and it seems very fun to edit videos, which sounds really boring now that I think about it.
It's not, because so many people do it today, and it's a way to get yourself out there, and I think that's a great idea. What do you do in your spare time?
I do synchronized swimming at Fairland.
Wonderful, yeah, so you're an athlete as well. That's just great. Serena, nice to have you here. You were an alternate before, now you're here on set from the minors up to the majors. Why'd you want to be here?
Well, I just love science, and when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. So then, if I know more about science, then I could be more qualified as a doctor.
Absolutely right. And you have a nice presentation to you, a great voice and confidence, and doctors need that. And there are a lot of things other than just science behind that. You're a good player. You're a good player. Matthew, nice to have you here today. Tell us the Matthew story. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to throw a football with my dad. I read.
You like to read?
I sometimes watch TV.
That's great. And you want to be an NFL quarterback someday? We could have used you recently here. You know, maybe we would have made it farther in the playoffs for the Skins. But what team do you like?
I like the Redskins and the Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks, absolutely right. And do you play for a team yourself?
Well, I played flag football in fall.
That counts. That counts. And it's important to be out there, and it sounds like your dad is encouraging you in this too. So that's just a great thing. I know he's proud of you. Let's get back to our game. 90-90. Last correct answer came from the green team. So Mary, we're ready for round 2. Start us out.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points is a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, teams. You're looking at a slow-moving loris that lives in the jungles of Southeast Asia, and it is the only member of its group that hibernates. That group is the same order that we human beings belong to. Glenarden Woods.
Homo sapiens?
Not Homo sapiens. Good try. What same group that we human beings belong to does this loris belong to?
Mammals.
Primates. Primates. The only primate that hibernates in the dry season. We normally think of hibernation with hot or cold, but no. Good tries. No points. Go green.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, these bivalve cases where a plant grows its seeds are found on peas and beans and cacao trees that you get chocolate from. What do we call those cases that hold their seeds? Glenarden Woods.
Pods?
Pods, that's right, like 2 peas in a pod. Good. Red.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical. 20 points. Teams, when you pick up your cell phone and start to talk, your voice is changed into an electrical signal that is carried by what kind of waves to the next phone? Glenarden Woods.
Radio waves?
Yes, ma'am. Well done. Good. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points, is another visual question. Look back to the monitor, teams, if you would. This woman is next to a rubber tree, and that white sap collecting in her cups is known as latex, spandex, or Xanax. Glenarden Woods.
Latex?
Latex is absolutely right. Yes, good. Red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, in Warsaw, Poland, there is a building called the Marie Curie Institute of Oncology, so named because Marie Curie, a very famous scientist, spent her life working with radioactive material. As a consequence, she did develop what disease? Montpelier.
Cancer?
Cancer, absolutely right. Oncology was your clue there. Thank you, Matt. Nice assist there. Go. Green.
Science potpourri for 5.
Science potpourri for 5 points. Teams, these cookies are named for a town in Massachusetts and not the man who invented and discovered gravity. Glenarden Woods.
Newton?
What kind?
Isaac Newton?
Isaac Newton. We'll take that. Fig Newtons are the cookies. Fig Newtons. Go. Green. Red, excuse me.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, a multiple choice question. The technological wizard who owns SpaceX and Tesla is Oscar Pistorius, Elon Musk, or Clyde Tombaugh? Glenarden Woods.
Clyde Tombaugh?
Not Clyde Tombaugh. The owner, the technological wizard who owns SpaceX and Tesla is Oscar Pistorius, Elon Musk, or Clyde Tombaugh?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, absolutely right. Recently sent a rocket up. First time ever we brought one back, and Tesla is the preeminent electric car out there today. Score 140, 125, advantage green, go.
Green things for 20.
Green things, 20 points. Teams, ruminants, animals that chew their cud like camels and horses and cows, have a very complex digestive system because they have to break down what very tough, complex carbohydrate found in plant material. Glenarden Woods.
The cell wall?
More information, please.
The cytoplasm?
No, not quite. Name the complex carbohydrate found in plant material, very hard to digest, which is why those animals, those ruminants, need a complex digestive system. What you think?
Can you repeat the question?
I think I just did, yes.
Okay.
It's cellulose. Cellulose. That's the carbohydrate that's in the cell walls. We were looking for that chemical particularly. Go green.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category, teams. Recently, paleontologists found the skeleton of a long extinct mastodon, a long ago elephant. They're trying to determine if it's a male or a female, and they can do that by looking at the skull or this area of the Montpelier.
Tusks.
Not tusks. Good try. Other than the skull, the part of the body that oftentimes tells whether it is a male or a female is this cavity area where the hip bone and the vertebrate bone. Glenarden Woods.
The pelvis?
Pelvis, absolutely right, as in pelvic girdle. Thank you, Diego, for your help there. Go red.
Dateline Science for 20.
Dateline Science, 20 points, teams. A new movie called Photograph 51 is the life story of Rosalind Franklin, who would have won a Nobel Prize, but she died too soon. She would have shared it with Watson and Crick, who got that Nobel Prize for discovering what very important chemical that determines our genetics. Glenarden Woods.
Let's pass it to Diego.
Radium?
Not radium, nope. What very important chemical that determines our genetics. Nobel Prize went to Watson and Crick, would have gone to Rosalind Franklin, but no Nobels are awarded posthumously. What you got, Mary? Time? Nothing? DNA. DNA was the right answer. Go red.
Let's get physical for body systems for 15.
Body systems, 15 points, teams. Young girls do not want to inherit from their mothers this condition, bulging and oftentimes unsightly body parts that are sometimes described as spider or varicose. Glenarden Woods.
Varicose?
No, those are the descriptors. What are the body parts I'm talking about?
Veins?
Veins, that's exactly right. Good, red.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, the thyroid cartilage that's known as the Adam's apple that sits atop your voice box is actually known as this kind of cartilage because it is named for this T-initialed endocrine gland that is right here in your neck. Thyroid. Name that gland, Glenarden Woods.
Thyroid?
Thyroid, yeah, that's the thyroid cartilage there. That is the Adam's apple. Good. Red.
Green things for 25.
Green things, 25 points. Big one in that category is a multiple choice question. Teams, because mosses have no vascular system, are they very leafy, very short, or deeply rooted? Montpelier.
Very short.
Very short. Yes, you can't have a tall moss because there's no vascular system to move things around. Good answer. Go green.
Let's get this. Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline Science for 25 points. Teams get that right, and we will have a very competitive game. Here's your question. Teams, it was back in 1956 that scientists discovered that gases like methane and carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide were causing the Earth to warm up, so they gave these gases this. Glenarden Woods.
Greenhouse gases?
Yes, they called them greenhouse gases. Yes, indeed. Good. Sarai, go.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical 25. Big one in that category. Teams. Just like the mythological Sisyphus who pushed a rock up a hill on an inclined plane, when you push something up an inclined plane, you, like Sisyphus, are using one of these. Glenarden Woods.
Force?
Not a force, one of these. An inclined plane, a kind of what? Montpelier?
Simple machine?
Simple machine, exactly right. Good, green. Thank you, Matt.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points, teams. Because of all the stress that is placed on them, all airplane tires, by law, have to be made of natural rubber and not artificial rubber that is also known by what S-initialed synonym? Glenarden Woods.
Silicone?
Not silicone. Good try. What S-initialed synonym for artificial is the kind of rubber you can't use on an airplane tire. What you got?
Sap?
Synthetic. Synthetic rubber is artificial rubber. Try again, green.
Body systems 25. Body systems 25.
Body systems are 25 points. Teams, what 4 letters will you put at the end of these body parts if they are inflamed or infected? Your larynx, your appendix, your bronchial tubes. What 4 letters go at the end if those organs are inflamed?
Itis?
What 4 letters?
I-T-I-S.
You got them. That's what I want to hear. Good. Go.
Let's get physical for 5. Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, red cabbage juice, like litmus papers, can be used to determine a substance's what? Glenarden Woods.
Chemical compounds?
Chemical compounds, red cabbage juice, like litmus papers, can help to determine a substance's what?
Color?
pH, acid or base. Ooh, the buzzer says with 2 questions left on the board, our game is over. It looks like Glenarden Woods has done it. We'll give you that final tally in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. What a great game here today. Both teams evenly matched. Nobody loses on Science Bowl. They're all winners. Our final tally today is Montpelier 175, Glenarden Woods 250. You guys can smile now. You did win. Mike and Sarai and Diego. And look at the alternates back there. Wave, Mark, and Noah, and the 3 great sponsors, Miss Emerson, Mr. Richardson, and Miss Stewart. We will see you in the next round. And Montpelier, let me see some big smiles. You never gave up here. You really gave them a run there, especially at the end. Serena and Mary and Matthew, we're proud of all of you guys. And Jeffrey waved everybody out there. You played a nice game here as an alternate. Mr. Pateri, thanks for all you did here. Hope to see you back again next year, and we'll hope to see you next time on the next edition of Science Bowl. Bye-bye.